All right, another one of these work problems. This one has a little bit of a different twist to it. We've got a secretary and then a clerical worker that works for this secretary doing a job. And the clerical worker, it takes 4 times as long as the secretary to do a job. So if the secretary is like X hours, then the clerical would take 4 times X hours to do that. So if it was 1 hour, the secretary would do 1 over X of the job and the clerical worker would do 1 over 4X. But in this case, it says that it takes them 5 hours. So similar, we've done problems sort of like this before. So it's the 5 hours over the X for the secretary. That would be the part of the job they did. So if the secretary takes 10 hours to do the job, 5 over 10, and they would have done in those 5 hours a half of the job. So the clerical worker would do other way around. Would do 5 hours out of the 4X that it takes the clerical worker total time to do the job. And then the two of them working together are going to do the full job. So then using our rational function skills that we've learned, we want to get rid of those denominators, multiply the whole equation by a 4X, multiply this 5 over X by 4X, the X's would cancel, leaving the 4 times the 5 or a 20. Multiply here, the whole 4X would cancel, so I just have the 5. And onto this one, I'd have my 4X. So adding the 20 and the 5 together and dividing by that 4. And I believe if you divide that out, that comes out to 6 1/4, or 6.25. And X here was time, so hours. That would have been the secretary. X was the secretary. So the question asks for what? They'll always go back and make sure how long would it take the clerical worker. So the clerical worker, we have to multiply by 4. And I believe that'll give us 25 hours. Now we could quickly do a little check to see if this is right using the other method. We've worked problems like this before, where if it takes the clerical worker 25 hours, in X hours, they would have done X out of 25 amount of the job. And if the secretary took 6.25 hours, the amount of time it takes them to do, what I'm trying to do is see if I can get the 5 hours for the total time to do the job here. So the if it took X hours and the clerical or the secretary takes 6.25, so it would be 5 out of that as the amount of work that the secretary would have done, and the two of them together equal the 1. So then when you multiply this whole thing by the 25 to get rid of the denominators, that one just cancels. This one was the 4.25. Wait a minute, 6.25 into 25, 4 1/4, yeah. Let's get this out of here, 6. Let's see, I'm gonna have 25 divided by the 6.25. Is just exactly 4. So this would be 4X and equals the 25. So then when you add these together, you've got 5X equals 25, X is 5. So that confirms what our story came up with as well. Just a little check step over here to make sure, because that was a little different than the other problems we've done like that. So a work problem in topic 4, lesson 5.